What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the breakdown. In this episode, the inaugural episode, we're going to take a look at Portland Trailblazers acquisition, Harry Giles, the new Trailblazers big. We're going to go through step by step who he is, what he can do, what he maybe can't do. But in this episode in particular, we're going to focus on his ability as a playmaking big. Let's get to it.
Giles. Oh, Harry over the top of Hassan Whiteside. That's something the Kings need to do. They got to get this crowd energized.
Yes, beautiful pass right there by Harry Giles.
What a pass. Boy, oh boy. Harry Giles threading the needle.
So Harry Giles is a Portland Trailblazer. Now what? Well, unless you're a league pass aficionado or a masochist or Kings fan, I guess they're kind of the same thing at this point in time, or you just like to watch a lot of young players in the league, chances are you haven't seen a lot of Harry Giles. He only appeared in 46 games. We kind of alluded to that and discussed it a little bit on last week's Blazers Edge podcast with Greg Wissinger, the managing editor of Kings Herald. If you want to dive more into Harry Giles, it's a great place to go. It's 45 minutes of Greg and I just kind of discussing what Harry Giles has gone through in his first couple years here in the NBA, how he ended up as a free agent, what he can do, what he may be limited that way right now, and where he could end up being. Make sure you check that out. But for right now, we're going to dive into what makes Harry Giles special. He's a finisher, he's an athlete, he's a 6'10 guy, but he's a truly special passing big man. And not just as a catch and pass guy, which I think there's a few more of those guys in the NBA. He can catch in the short roll. He can do it off the bounce, and we're going to kind of dive into where he gets going and where he likes to look. Let's get right to it. How does he do it? What sets him apart from other guys, but maybe keeps him from being a Nikola Jokic? But as Greg alluded to on the podcast, he did call him a poor man's Nikola Jokic. But why is that? So let's dive right into it with this clip here against the Detroit Pistons, kind of rolling it out. I mean, again, not the best place to start with the Pistons. We'll see some of that with the Bulls too. But Harry Giles, this is where he lives, both as a playmaker and as a shooter. He loves these mid-range elbow, free throw line, pull-up jumpers. To work off dribble handoffs, to work in pick and roll, slip picks. This is his home. He is not LaMarcus Aldridge. He is not Carmelo Anthony. He is not a baseline hunter. He loves the middle of the floor. So this is where primarily he's going to work from. Where he loves to feed guys, where he looks to feed guys so much is that just outside the restricted area, the back cutters, the dive cutters, the zipper cuts. There's so many different actions. But just time after time after time, this is where the ball ultimately ends up. Now, he does find guys in the short roll to the corner to three-point shooters, but he's just so good at finding these cutters, and it's just found money. We'll roll forward here real quick. We'll see Kent Bazemore come here off a little pick, little action. The defense gets confused. It's the Detroit Pistons. Not exactly shocking. But what's special here is look at Giles. Look at his eye sign. Look at his eye line where he's leading the defender to the corner. Bazemore's already gone, and then look at the precision on the pass. Boop! 2 hands, right on the money, gets him to where he needs to get to on time in the right spot to where Bazemore doesn't have to stretch, doesn't have to reach, doesn't have to pull back behind him, catch it in stride, and finish in traffic. Again, here we go. This is the other spot you'll see Giles work towards. If he's not at that free throw line, if he's not at that elbow extended, he gets out a little bit further here, right on the wing three-point line. And you'll see here as he works this kind of DHO action that he flashes for Buddy Hield. Shaq Harrison, who's a good defender, gets caught on Giles' hip. And this is where Giles, while not an elite screener, he does know how to kind of chip a guy enough to get a player free. This is kind of your rub blocks in the NFL from wide receivers where the pick plays kind of come up, but it's not quite there. But watch what Giles does here with the pass. It's that touch pass that, again, to use another football analogy, it's that fade pass to the corner in the end zone that requires the precision, timing, and touch. We'll look at that here first, and then we'll kind of go a little bit further into where he's getting it. That pass comes right over, comes right into that pocket, that sweet spot, able to finish in traffic. Healed a good finish at the rim. Let's roll it back here real quick. That arrow popped up. That's because I want to highlight one thing. That's the space that he's getting into. That's the space that defense is giving him because you've got backside three-point shooters. You've got Corey Joseph here in the corner. You've got Anthony Tolliver above the break here at the three-point line. And again, we're talking about bad defenses, the Bulls. But this is what you take advantage of with an elite passing big man and guys who are willing cutters. Let's watch it again. Just let it roll after the pause here. We're going to see the space that he gets into healed after a little deflection from this pick right here. Harrison gets caught ever so slightly, and then big enough to drive his truck through. That, in NBA terms, that's just too much space. That's, again, I'm going to use a lot of football analogies. If he's even, he's leaving. He's gone. There's nothing you can do with that. And again, we'll get to Harry Giles here. Look at where he sets up. Essentially the same place. And again, this is only a few possessions later. But look, again, where he tries to get to. Ultimately, he wants to get back to that honey hole. This is his favorite place. This is his binky. This is his basketball binky. He loves it. It's his comfort zone. And it's for good reason. Watch what happens when all 5 Bulls defenders have eyes on him. 10 eyes on Harry Giles means there's none on Corey Joseph in the weak side corner. This is that short roll action, making those split-second decisions that the Blazers haven't really had access to. Jusuf Nurkic has grown in that regard, but he's a much, much better stationary. In fact, he's an elite passing big man from a stationary position. I'd put Jokic, Sabonis, Embiid to an extent, and Nurkic all on an elite level passing platform when it comes to stationary passing. But on the move, where you've got these little tiny distance or little tiny split-second decisions you have to make, it's, for me, Giles right now as far as on this Blazers roster. And again, look at how open he is. We'll roll it back. You can see the alerts just popping up. Whoop, 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 whoop. I mean, he is butt naked in the corner. That is 4 Bulls in the paint, 1 on the strong ball side. And again, Corey Joseph isn't Steph or even Seth Curry from the three-point line. But you leave a guy like this open, he's going to knock it down, as we'll see here. But it's the timing of the pass, reading and making the right decision, and putting it in a place to succeed. Let's see it again. Just run it all the way through. Giles, boom. 1 dribble pull right into the pocket. Let's roll that back real quick as we talk about playmaking accuracy. Watch where this ball is. I know it's kind of hard to spot on this angle, but watch where the ball ends up. It's right in the shooting pocket. Lets it go, boom, right into the dip. If you watch B-Ball Breakdown, if you watch Coach Nick, he talks about the dip all the time. For a lot of shooters, it's really important. And when you've got a guy that can put the ball where it needs to go, it matters. Now, here's a little bit of a subtle difference in where Giles sets up. He does go to the mid-post occasionally. More often than not, you will see him above the free throw line, but this is just a little bit of a different look. You get Buddy Hield coming downhill, going in the DHO action, Buddy Hield being one of the best three-point shooters in the entire league. You're going to see the defense suck up to him to take away what would be a naked three-point shot in the corner, which is something he's just going to murder. But watch the counter to this. As you see this whole side that he's got to work with, boom, where's Giles going to get to? Middle of the floor. Yes, sir, but guess what? You're going to run into a little problem here because now the defense is rotated over, but they're caught 1 man behind. And Kent Bazemore, listen, he may have struggled from 3 last season, but he's really good on these high percentage shots on the back cut. Now imagine this being Derrick Jones Jr. This is a high efficiency shot for the Portland Trail Blazers if you get a high flyer like that, or even a Robert Covington. So this is something that the Trailblazers could really, really utilize in these short roll situations. And again, he immediately recognizes where the open man is coming from. Elite vision, on time, over the defender, boop, and then Bazemore just little bunny. We like those kind of plays here. As we roll it forward here, this is just more of the same. Watch Giles. You can face guard him, you can come up, you can play soft on him. It doesn't matter. If you come up too high, he'll get by guys, which we'll see a little bit more here later on. But if you give him too much room, you don't take away his airspace and limit his passing lanes, well, here you go. Boop. It's another 2 points. And this is a team that doesn't have a lot of options, and yet still, if you get any kind of overplay, it's precision. 1 right there. It's so subtle and so simple, but so important. Adams is a great defender, anticipates it. And here's the overplay. JaVale McGee, very good rim defender. JaVale McGee, not a very good outside the rim defender. And Harry Giles being a 6'10" guy, you would think, he's bed, some injuries. Does he still really have that athleticism? Well, the answer is yes. Watch what happens if you overplay and you're flat-footed. Bloop! Bye. Most bigs just aren't going to be able to cover that, and that's the counter that he has. And this one I just like because, screw it. Just watch. Operates in the mid-post, a little flash, bounce pass, right in the pocket, right on time. And this is my favorite play of all the ones that I watched, and we'll kind of wrap things up here. Harry Giles fades a little bit to give Harrison Barnes a little bit of room to work with, as Barnes kind of puts himself in jail a couple times in this possession. Watch Giles here as the arrow indicates he's going to float to the open space as Harrison Barnes goes to the corner. Barnes puts himself in a bad spot. Uh-oh, what do I do? Well, at least Giles is showing for him here. Valanciunas is taking away the drive if Barnes wanted to before he went into the step back, so he's really only got one place to go for it. Now, the defender on Giles probably should dig down and not necessarily worry about Fox above the three-point line, but he's got some responsibilities here. Giles, he shows immediately, look at Valanciunas. 3.9 seconds on the shot clock. What is he going to do? He's going to go and challenge Harry Giles. Why? Because that feels like probably the right thing to do at this point in time, because he doesn't think otherwise. But Giles and Barnes have had this connection so many times throughout the season, it's an immediate give and go. And watch at the space created by Valanciunas stepping up and vacating the paint, and it's gorgeous basketball. Also, big enough to drive a truck through. It's the kind of thing that you just love to see as a playmaker. See, look at that, life-size truck. Boom, 2 points. It's just you couldn't draw it up any better than that. And we'll put this one here just because I love this play. Oh God, look at the sauce. Just nothing but sauce here from Harrison Barnes. Casual, let me go ahead and pop up. It's kind of a weak screen, not a big fan of that. But one-handed bounce wrap pass after the overplay. Whoop! And Reggie Jackson is burnt toast. So that's the kind of thing that you're going to get from Harry Giles. It's elite playmaking from that high post position in DHOs, in pick and rolls, in short rolls. These are the kind of things that open up an offense. And really, if you're Portland, would unlock their offense, especially with the second unit, where you might be limited on some creation aspects, or you want to spread things out without necessarily having the requisite shooters on the floor. So if you're looking for something for Harry Giles, this is easily the biggest thing to look for in his early tenure with the Portland Trailblazers.
And there is 2-0 Sacramento.
I'm going to look at this pass right here by Harry Giles in the pocket right down the lane.
I was in the rain waiting for these sunny days. Made it through, you can tell me I don't love to say. I'm away to that show, told them pipe down, I don't need no hoes. I've been out with my bros, even back then I knew I'd grow. Now I'm knocking down these doors, they ain't keeping up when I switch these flows. They don't want no smoke, can't get hot, I can play so low. I've been trying to get it, told them I'ma run it up. Out on night, so I told them go and fill my cup. Now they texting, but back then they never showed me love. They been hating since day one, dog, you looking sus. Now they switching sides, I can't mess with y'all. I could tell they ain't real, I can't get involved. Ooh, I seen them now, and they tryna call. Ooh, this summer's mine, but they tryna watch me fall. Yeah, I'm shining bright, got me feeling like I'm next up. Feeling like I'm Curry, how I'm ballin' on the West Road. If you told me back then, ooh, I never would've guessed so. Now the way I'm winning, I might have to cut the net hole. Yeah, I'm shining bright, got me feeling like I'm next up. Feeling like I'm Curry, how I'm ballin' on the West Road. If you told me back then, ooh, I never would've guessed so. Now the way I'm winning,